Actually, I'm not ready, but there we go. Okay, ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, my name is David Lids and I am founder of StreetWell. StreetWell is developing a lasting disruptive model to end generational poverty through the cooperative ownership of real estate. To achieve its mission, StreetWell is building an impact real estate portfolio, or IREP, in Hagerstown and Baltimore, Maryland. The IREP is much like a traditional real estate investment trust or real estate holding company in structure, but different in that the IREP renovates, rents out assets exclusively in America's redlined or rusted out neighborhoods. But the coolest thing about it and the biggest vision we have is that unlike a normal REIT, the IREP distributes the shares of its portfolio to the workers who do the renovation and to the tenants who occupy the property, and also to other neighborhood stakeholders or activists. It's a pretty big vision. You might ask, why do we think we can do it? And the answer is we've been doing it for years. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I myself got sober in 2002 after a pretty low bottom of, sleeping in the woods and all that nonsense. While I was in rehab, I became really impassioned about the idea of recovery, or that is that the best way for me to stay sober was to live my life in service to others. And that was a really good way to have a joyful, meaningful life too. Also, in that early sobriety moment, I was starting all over again, and I found work cutting grass, changing doorknobs, boarding up windows on vacant properties for realtors and banks. Pretty good place to start all over again because nobody cared that my hands were still kind of shaking and I was fresh out of rehab, and the entry costs and skill sets were pretty low. Just needed a crappy van and a digital camera and a cordless drill and the ability to use those things, and I was in. Also really cool about it was it put me on a trajectory to grow a small business. So I did over the years turn that little opportunity into a licensed contracting company called Appalachian Field Services. And in the spirit of recovery, as I started creating jobs, I hired folks coming out of rehab and jails. Along the way, I got some real estate investors to back me on opening sober houses, and we formed a 501c3 to run those sober houses and the recovery program and job reentry program that goes with that. That became Ladders to Leaders. And StreetWell is the idea that this scrappy little social enterprise we had stitched together, and that's what it was. It was a social enterprise long before I had ever heard that term. StreetWell is the idea that we can scale that mission. And again, we have pretty good reason to believe that we can. Over the years, we've housed a good number of people and put a lot of people in good jobs on tracks to good careers in the trades or in property management or other real estate lines of business. The construction company itself, we converted into an employee-owned co-op, and along the way, we picked up our own row homes that we renovated and rented out. So AFS, now the employee-owned cooperative, does own 4 real estate assets that are performing. Again, this is like micro-modeling the StreetWell vision. And also along the way, we built our own really nice impact data platform that both drives and measures the business, but also drives and measures our outcomes. So the model to scale is to take a look at the gross injustices that happen in the American housing finance sector. And there's numerous ways to look and talk about that, but for our purposes today, we're going to go to the unit economics, look at the injustices that happen there and how we aim to fix that. So to do that, we're going to talk about flipping, which you know about. You watch the dopey shows, or you've at least seen them, I'm sure. And in the neighborhoods we're in, you can expect to buy a house for $35,000. You'd put about $90,000 in it to renovate. When you were done, you would enjoy an asset now worth $150,000, so a 20% gain. You'd also enjoy, if you decided to keep it and rent it out, about a $7,000 a year net income on the property. The problem is the players that are currently in that space are extractive characters like bird dogs and flippers and hard money lenders who will to this day continue to strip that neighborhood of its equity and wealth to the tune of $64,000 out of the unit economics math I just presented you, or that's 43% of that asset's ultimate value ripped right out of that community and put in the hands of extractive players. We want to turn that on our head. How does StreetWell want to redirect that extraction into impact? We do it by looking for catalytic low interest debt financing. And we look to engage the communities and co-ops and employment social enterprises to create the good jobs that we are doing and to create community design. The good news, the really cool news is that we have attracted an offer to apply for $10 million to seed that portfolio model. We are well into diligence, and we've been informed that with a $1 million credit wrap or stop loss, maybe from a philanthropic, our chances to get that money deployed soon would increase. So that is our ask. I've got a really great team. Would love for you to give us a chance, me and my team, to talk to you and get into this about us. Thank you. So somewhere at 6:20 again.